Service leading the additive manufacturing 3D print category for the multiple awards schedule. Next slide, Lori. So before we get started today, there's just a few housekeeping notes that I do want to review. This meeting is being recorded. Thank you, John, for setting the recording. Slides in the recording will be shared after today's meeting. There are more than 250 people registered for today's webinar, so all attendees will be muted. However, the Q&A box will be open during the entire meeting, and procurement analyst John Giannopoulos will be monitoring questions in the Q&A box and address those questions at the end of today's webinar. So I encourage you to type your questions throughout the meeting and participate as much as you feel comfortable. CLPs, I'll do my best to make sure that they're issued in a timely manner. And I also want to mention that there is a survey link that will be posted in chat at the end of the webinar. So I highly value your feedback. Please take a moment to complete it once it is posted. And I want to definitely send a big thank you to my colleague, Lori Witherspoon, who is assisting me with slide support today. So with that said, Lori, next slide. So in today's agenda, we'll review the multiple award schedule and discuss some of the key benefits, as well as overview the additive manufacturing 3D print special item number, or SIN, and explore the GSA e-library. We'll also discuss two of GSA's buying sources, GSA Advantage and Global Supply. Now you'll learn not only how, but the best ways to buy from schedule in 3 simple steps based on your buying type and the amount. We'll then review how to navigate your RFQ in GSA eBuy and conclude with Q&A. So whether you're a contracting officer or a government purchase card holder, the objective is to ensure that by the end of this training, you'll have a better understanding of the AM 3D print solutions available to support your agency's missions. You should also gain a greater understanding of how to purchase AM 3D print products and services from multiple award schedule contractors on GSA platforms. You'll also become familiar with the GSA tools and resources available to you. And ultimately, you should see the benefit of looking to GSA for AM 3D print solutions in the first step of your agency's buying process or acquisition planning. So let's kick today's webinar off with a quick poll. Lord, can you please launch our poll? So tell me, what is your level of expertise using the multiple award schedule? And we'll just take maybe 5 to 10 seconds to answer this poll briefly.
We've got quite a few people still putting in their bid.
Okay, we'll give them a couple of extra seconds, no problem.
Okay. All right. And we will go ahead and close the poll.
Awesome. All right, so the results are varied. We've got a lot of people on that are novice today. I do see there are a few advanced individuals on, so this is great. And it's as I expected, the responses are ranging. So thank you so much for participating and for your honest feedback. Next slide, Lori. So since we do have a diverse audience, and based on the poll responses being varied, I'll give a brief overview of the multiple award schedule and outline the benefits so you know how it really does simplify the acquisition process. Next slide. So the multiple award schedule is an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, government-wide contract vehicle for agencies to procure their commercial products, services, and solutions all through a simplified acquisition process under FAR 8.4. The contract life is 20 years for potential for vendors, and it offers vendors a 5-year base period and 3 5-year option periods to renew their contract. The schedule is made of 12 categories and a host of subcategories. These categories, the contractors, their catalogs, can all be found on the GSA e-library, which we'll explore in just a bit. Next slide, Lori. So let's review the benefits of using the multiple award schedule, which again follows the simplified acquisition process under FAR 8.4. All right, Lori, can I get another click? Thank you. So when it comes to savings, GSA has already pre-negotiated ceiling pricing. This means the fair and reasonable pricing has already been determined. It is important to know that while pricing has been pre-negotiated, volume discounts can and should be requested still by agencies. With regards to flexibility, the schedule offers streamlined blanket purchase agreements or BPAs, and you can establish a BPA with one or more of our scheduled contractors to fulfill repetitive needs for supplies and services. You can also establish agency-wide BPAs or even establish multi-agency BPAs. And unlike traditional BPAs, FAR Part 13 does not apply to scheduled BPAs. The schedule also allows the flexibility of using limited source justifications in the event you need to sole source. When it comes to compliance, GSA contractors are fully vetted for performance, technical ability, and financial responsibility before being awarded to ensure compliance. The MAS is a tier 2 credible solution that reflects strong contract management practices and includes sharing data and information across agencies and using cross-agency metrics. When we think about ease of use, with the exception of a limited source justification, schedule orders and BPAs are not synopsized at SAM.gov. This means that schedule buys are already compliant with the Competition and Contracting Act of 1984, and ultimately, it means you don't have to seek outside competition from the multiple award schedule. And then there's time. The time you save is significant because GSA has already written the solicitation, so you don't have to write your own. You simply issue a task order. Now, if you take all of these benefits into consideration, it makes buying commercial supplies and services through the schedule faster than using open market procedures, and it reduces acquisition time and risk for agency contracting officers. Next slide. So in 2015, GSA launched the Additive Manufacturing 3D print category as an end-to-end solution to provide the best-in-class 3D printing technology for the civilian workforce and armed forces. Our goal is to align with every agency to help you meet your operational requirements, maximize your procurement budgets, and extend the useful life of equipment and systems to ensure your supply chain quality assurance is always maintained. Next slide. So you should know that GSA identifies the 3D printing AM category under special item number or SIN 333249, and it defines it as a solution that includes printers, meaning ancillary equipment, technical services, and supplies required to generate functional prototype images and printed objects. It further defines equipment as 3D printers, laser imaging devices, post-processing devices, ancillary accessories, and software to produce these functional items. And technical services include, but aren't limited to, 3D printing, laser imaging, to produce a digital file used to generate functional prototype images and printed objects as well. This then also encompasses all consumable types and all things related to additive. Next slide. Our vendors under SIN 333249, they offer both products and services. And the capabilities of the vendors on our schedule range from equipment, offering consumables, actual printing services, contract labor, consulting, prototyping, legacy part manufacturing and reverse engineering, research and development, and system integration. And some of the top OEMs are featured on schedule. So we're talking entities like EOS, Formlabs, Mark Forged, Lutzbot, Ultimaker, HP, Triton, and Haas Automation, to name a few. And most recently, we've begun adding Stratasys products to be represented on schedule. And these entities, they're continuously adding products to make sure that your needs can be met. In fact, there are over 5,000 AM 3D print products readily available to purchase. And while it's too many to review today, a full list of printers, parts, and consumables offered under SIN 333249 will be sent out with the webinar recording and the slides today. This will allow you to review and filter the report by the contractor number, the manufacturer name, and the manufacturer part number, and more. Additionally, you should know that bundled products and service solutions are available through select vendors. And GSA also allows our multiple award schedule contractors to work together in a contractor teaming arrangement to ensure that your agency needs can be met if you need the solution. I do want to mention that there's an asterisk next to consumables because they're also offered through another source that we'll discuss a little bit later. As of today, there are 31 contractors on schedule under SIN 333249, and that number is growing. And it's growing due to many of our efforts working closely with entities like the Made in America office and organizations like America Makes to ensure that GSA contractors, products, services, and products and services under the SIN are in alignment with the presidential initiatives and executive orders in place to help advance our nation's additive manufacturing capabilities forward. All of the multiple award schedule contractors can be accessed through our GSA e-library. Now let's go over to the e-library and take a closer look. Lori, next slide. So as I mentioned, the Additive Manufacturing 3D Print SIN 333249, the description is found here in the e-library. The e-library also provides you with a list of all the vendors and their contract award information. In the e-library, you can conduct a search by the SIN, the category, or any other keywords. So in the example here, I begin my search by entering 333249 in the search bar, which is circled in the middle of the page. If you prefer to search by category, the red arrow below indicates that the AM3D print SIN can be found in our office management category. Next slide. So once you enter your search, you will get applicable search results. And from the screen, you see that you can, in the middle of the screen, you see that you can also filter by socioeconomic status. You can view vendors' terms and conditions and their price list, as well as their catalog. The far right arrow down in the middle of the page, it shows that you can also conduct a search by keywords within the vendor's price list or terms and conditions. The arrow at the top of the page, it shows pathways to GSA's buying platforms like GSA's eBuy and Advantage, so you can quickly navigate to purchase with ease. So what I'd like to do is run another quick poll before we look at GSA Advantage. So thank you, Lori. I was going to ask if you could please drop that poll. I don't see the poll up yet. So Lori, let me know when you post. Okay. Um, Looks like our poll may be having a few technical difficulties, and that's okay. So the poll question is, have you ever ordered products from GSA Advantage? And if you want, you can type your answer in chat. That's perfectly fine. It's just a yes or no question. But for many of you, I know the answers to the initial poll was that you were novice. So I'm guessing that many of you have not purchased products on Advantage, but feel free to drop your answer in the chat there. And I'm seeing yeses and nos across the board. So thank you again for your feedback, and that's great. Thank you for your transparency there. Next slide, Lori. So on the GSA Advantage platform, you can also purchase your products and supplies from vendors, or you can purchase your products and supplies from vendors as well as through Global Supply. And I want to now walk through what that looks like in more detail. Next slide. So for those of you who answered no and you may have never used the platform before, GSA Advantage is an online shopping and ordering service created within GSA for use by government agencies to buy the commercial products and services from our vendors. Similar to any online store, you can look up and search for the item you need to purchase and then add it to your cart to buy. In this example seen here, I searched for a 3D printer. And again, you can search by name, manufacturer, or the part number as well. I typed in the words 3D printer. And the red circle in the upper right-hand corner, I want to point out as well, because this link shows you that you can view your account for GSA Advantage. You can order NSNs and you can log in. And this is important. They're very important links, and they'll be referenced again later in the webinar today. But for now, let's take a closer look at the 3D print search results. Next slide. So my search produced a host of results. Several items with the keywords from my search also appeared, but you see that printers are displayed further down below. Notice that the arrow pointing at the blue banner in the upper left-hand corner says Global Supply. So these global supply items shown indicate that there's an NSN available related to your search. And again, since we have a diverse audience, I do want to briefly explain GSA Global Supply Program so you understand the difference. Next slide. So GSA Global Supply is a government-to-government wholesale supply source. GSA is referenced as a wholesale supply source along with DLA that agencies should utilize for supply requirements. Products are managed and billed by GSA Global Supply, so you are not ordering with a vendor, you are placing your order directly with the government. GSA has already procured the item on your behalf. Therefore, all FAR requirements, including trade agreements, policies, socioeconomic goals, Ability One mandates, and executive orders are already satisfied, and your order simply is a requisition between agencies. Global Supply offers thousands of items with a national stock number, which is a 13-digit identifier to help facilitate the transfer of products. And these NSNs are assigned to items with a reoccurring need. And what happened is over time, GSA recognized that it would be impractical and costly to assign NSNs to each and every product. So using commercial part numbers to requisition like NSNs was permitted. This means that commercial supplies from our AM 3D print vendors on the multiple award schedule can now be requisitioned. Next slide. So why requisition? Well, I recently attended the Military Additive Manufacturing Summit in Tampa, Florida, where there was much discussion around the need for AM3D print NSNs now and in the future. So it's critical for agencies to note that part number requisitioning can be beneficial to your ongoing strategy to increase readiness. GSA will issue the RFQ or P on your behalf, so vendor contact isn't needed. And additionally, GSA handles the product fulfillment, the order status, and billing support, as well as provides comprehensive customer service. So in short, requisitioning and the benefits is beneficial because it's a simple method for agencies to acquire the AM3D print products that they need directly from GSA. And we're going to take a look at how to requisition these items from GSA Advantage shortly. Next slide. So I do want to point out that as a part of the long-standing collaboration on supply support, DLA and GSA manage distinct federal supply classes, and GSA has obtained exception management for select 3D printing materials. This outlines the 18 3D printer filament NSNs that GSA has already established and are available for purchase. If there are additional AM3D print items that you have a recurring need for, you can and are able to request for GSA to manage these new or existing NSNs. And for more information, I encourage you all to reach out if you have questions about that. Next slide. Now we'll try this again, hopefully it'll work. But before I talk about how to buy in 3 simple steps, just to make sure everybody is following along, I'm going to test your knowledge a bit. And I would like for everyone to select the best answer to the following question.
Buffy, the test your knowledge 1 and test your knowledge 2 polls are not available.
Thank you, Lori. So as everyone is very familiar, technical issues are commonplace in today's world. So feel free again to put your item in the chat box, your response in the chat box. So the question is, non-NSN items managed by GSA with a commercial part number can be requisitioned, true or false? I am seeing fantastic responses. Everybody's saying true. Now, I don't know if everybody was paying attention or if everybody's saying true because the first person said true, but I'm hoping that it was because everyone was paying attention. All right. Thank you so much for that participation. And next slide, Lori. So we just learned about purchasing by way of requisitioning. Now let's review how to buy and incorporate acquisition thresholds in the discussion to determine the best pathway to purchase your AM3D print products and services. Next slide. So first I'm going to talk about buys below the micro purchase threshold. Now, if you're a government purchase card holder and your item is under $10,000, you can simply use your government purchase card if there's no statement of work. However, if your buy is over the micro purchase threshold with no statement of work, I want you to keep in mind that a best practice would be to check Advantage to requisition before issuing an RFQ. So remember earlier in the presentation, I referenced the login feature on GSA Advantage. In this scenario on the screen, your first step to buy is to register your Pivot Cat card on Advantage. Pretty simple. And that's if you haven't done so already. So based on our responses, some of you have purchased, so you're already one step down. So step 2, you would simply identify the item that you need. I used one of the printers from the search that I did earlier. So that's what's highlighted in step 2. And I added it to the cart. Step 3, you simply select your payment method and check out. And if you notice there's a red circle at the bottom, it shows where you can add your government purchase card or an activity address code or DODAT. Also be aware that all scheduled contractors are required to accept your government purchase card buys under the micro purchase threshold. You should also distribute your orders among scheduled contractors as you place them, and you can place your orders orally unless you have a scope of work again. Next slide. So we now know that you can part number requisition the scheduled products you want from GSA Advantage. I often get questions about how to buy AM3D print products when they exceed the GPC spend limit or the micro purchase threshold. So when it comes to the best way to buy, if an order exceeds your GPC limit or the 10,000 micro purchase threshold, requisitioning will allow you to acquire more costly AM3D print products without issuing an RFP. Mill strip, fed strip, or CPN ordering or commercial part number ordering is a great way to obtain these high value printers when you want to supplement an NSN order from Global Supply with a combination of products from the schedule that'll offer you a total solution. These are ideal times where you can take advantage of this opportunity to requisition. And here are the 3 simple steps that make for a quick and easy purchasing option. Step 1, when you're requisitioning, there's a DD 1348-6 if you're a DOD. And civilian agencies, you should be using the standard form 344. Your first step is to complete that form. Step 2, you'll simply log into GSA Advantage and screenshot the items that you need. And in this example, again, I selected a product from the 3D printer list that I did earlier, and I listed it here. And then in step 3, you're simply going to email those documents to ncsorders@gsa.gov. And that team will begin doing the work from there. However, I know everyone sees the $150,000 at the top. And while acquisition thresholds don't apply to requisitioning, I must advise that GSA does require an interagency agreement to be completed for all DD Form 1348-6 submissions that exceed $150,000. Next slide. So we spent a little time discussing how to buy products from GSA Advantage, but I know many of you are wondering, or what if there is a statement of work and I can't utilize Advantage? I'm not buying a product per se, I need a service. Remember, the solicitation already exists, so there's no need to write another one. In this scenario, this is for agency buys over the micro purchase threshold that do not require a statement of work. You can simply log into GSA Advantage, select the items from that you choose and put them into the cart. And from GSA Advantage, if you're looking to prepare your RFQ, there is a link that will redirect you to GSA eBuy to get your RFQ started if you choose to post an RFQ. You do have to survey more than 3 contractors through GSA Advantage or review at least 3 scheduled contractors' price lists. You can also request quotes from at least 3 scheduled contractors if you have a scope of work or when you have a scope of work. But remember, if you can't identify 3 contractors, FAR 8.4 does permit limited source justifications. Additionally, if you're looking for a product or service and you need market research conducted, agencies can take advantage of GSA's complimentary market research as a service. And this is in efforts to streamline that RFQ process. GSA will submit the RFI on behalf of your agency with your approval, so you can get the feedback from our industry partners on your requirements and then provide a comprehensive market research report. And I say this because every product that our vendors offer may not be listed. So you may need to inquire with our schedule holders to see if they can meet the requirements. Or again, if you're looking for a bundled solution, the product may be on Advantage, but you're also looking for the service, the installation, or some additional support, which would require you to issue an RFQ as opposed to just buying your product from Advantage. So now, in the event you do have a statement of work, your first step would be to go straight to GSA eBuy to post your RFQ. You really wouldn't need to spend time in Advantage if you know that all you need or what you need are services explicitly. So let's go over to GSA's eBuy and take a closer look at how to navigate an RFQ. Next slide. So we'll take a quick snapshot, take a quick look at what you can do in the platform and view a snapshot of posting your RFQ. Next slide, Lori. Earlier in the presentation or earlier in the discussion, we saw the option to log into GSA Advantage in the upper right-hand corner. So since your GSA Advantage login is also your GSA eBuy login, you must register your PIV or CAT card first on GSA Advantage. Once you've gained access to eBuy, you'll find that you can easily identify sources, enter your requirements and upload documents, receive and evaluate quotes, make award notifications online, and find samples of prior RFQ packages. And for awareness, if you are under time constraints, another benefit with using the schedule is that agencies are not required to post an RFQ in eBuy for 30 days. GSA requires your RFQ be posted for a minimum of 48 hours. And again, that's if you're under time constraints. Next slide. So after you first register your PIV or CAT card on GSA Advantage, you can access GSA's eBuy. And once you're logged in, you'll first conduct a search using keywords. You'll then select the vendors that you want to invite to your quote, and then provide all the pertinent information necessary for the vendor to submit a quote. This includes your statement of work or performance statements. And once all of that information is entered and attached, the submit button will activate green and allow you to submit your RFQ. A yellow warning will appear if any information is missing in a mandatory section of the RFQ until it's corrected. And it's literally that straightforward. Next slide. So I understand that our test your knowledge section is not working properly, but I do still want to go over this scenario to see if we can get, to see if everybody was following along and understands. So I'm looking for your best answers to the following question. And the scenario is September the 1st. Bob is looking for a 3D printer for his military unit, and the cost of this printer is $105,000. FY24 funds need to be obligated before September the 30th. What is Bob, or what are Bob's best options? There can be more than one answer here. And I see answers coming in the chat. Thank you for posting, so I didn't have to tell you where to post, but this one's a slight trick question. It's a little bit of a trick question. The best answers here, I see everybody putting in 3. The best answers are 3 followed by 1. So based on the printer cost, Bob could simply locate the commercial part number of the printer he needs and requisition it. However, based on the minimum RFQ posting time in eBuy, if you answered number 1, it is possible to post and evaluate an award if you intend to process quickly and you're very deliberate. So although, it's a tight timeline, a quick turnaround, it's feasible if a quick turnaround is desired. So I just want to make sure that, everybody understands that he has 2 options here, but the best option is certainly number 3. As long as the item he needs is available, he can indeed requisition it. So great job with the responses, everyone. Most of you guessed at least one of the 2 right. So thank you. Next slide, Lori. So here are a few key takeaways from today's webinar to highlight. I want you all to remember that the AM 3D print solutions are available today through GSA under SIN 333249. You should also get familiar with the GSA eLibrary and the buying platforms like GSA Advantage and eBuy. Create a login in Advantage so you have it. And then when you need to access eBuy, you already have that access to go online and post your RFQ. NSNs are available for filaments today, and you can leverage your GPC card to easily purchase those or any other uh, or mill strip, fed strip, and commercial part number ordering is a simple way to requisition mass products when they're over the micro purchase threshold. You can requisition non-NSN products from a current AM 3D print vendor on schedule by commercial part number ordering. And if you have a statement of work, use the RFQ quick tool that I just showed to post your RFQ in eBuy for 30 days or less. So the biggest takeaway that I want to make sure everyone has today is that you really and truly can simplify your acquisition strategy by leveraging GSA SIN 333249 to procure your AM 3D print products and services. Next slide. Before we enter into some Q&A, I do want to provide or share several links. These are key resources relevant to today's webinar that you may need for your AM 3D print requirements. It's important to know that there's no fee to use GSA schedule contract vehicles. In addition to all of the contracting benefits you heard today, as a GSA schedule user, our team will gladly provide you with assistance and advisement with using any of GSA's properties and platforms. We offer complimentary advising services with our subject matter experts and experienced contracting officers to provide procurement guidance that includes requirements development, reviewing statements of work or performance work statements, scope reviews, identifying successful past procurements, and sample acquisition documents if you need those. And of course, you can always email me directly for support with procuring any of your AM 3D print product services and equipment from GSA. Next slide, Lori. And with that, I will now open it up to John Giannopoulos to address any questions that you have. And additionally, I do want to remind you all that there is a survey. If you missed that little note this morning, I did announce that there's a survey that I would love for all of you to please take. I value your feedback. And I believe John or Lori is going to put that link in the chat so you can access it right away. Thank you all so much for joining. And John, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Buffy. Great job. I think it was very thorough and detailed. Just a couple quick responses I wanted to give, because I know there's a couple questions that came through and I did respond, but I just wanted to make you aware as well. Some folks were interested in if we could provide some instruction on the CLP, if we could maybe provide them some information on how they could record their training for today.
Yes, we can follow up. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so inherently Buffy doesn't control that process, and the CLPs will be issued for participants who have attended within 10 to 14 business days.
Okay, great. So we'll provide a follow-up for that. Great.
And they'll also have a copy of the presentation.
Fantastic.
Very good. And I see, John, that you answered a number of questions in the chat. Were there any questions that you needed to highlight for the masses?
I don't believe so.
I noticed there are a few questions about shipping. I just want to make sure that
I had seen one regarding it may take some time for shipping out to Alaska. That was the only one I saw related to shipping.
Okay.
Unless I missed something.
And if anyone does have questions that they did not post in the chat, you are welcome to come off of mute at this time and ask your question live. John, can you please, or Lori or John, can either of you please place the survey link in the chat, please?
Yes, Lori, could you do that, please? I think you have better access to it than I do.
Sure, let me drop that in.
Thank you.
I posted a question earlier about the e-buy section. Does the CAC, when you register the CAC, do you have to match, the CAC holder needs to match the government credit card holder, or anyone with a CAC can register?
That's a good question. So you're saying, does the
Yeah, I
government
believe
purchase
anyone
card?
with a CAT card could register.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
Thank you.
Good morning. So in order for an individual or a soldier and airman to request an item through Millstrip, do I need to go onto FLIS and become an MOE on the NSNs that are listed?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question one more time?
Yes. So in order for an airman or a soldier to be able to request an item through Millstrip, right? Do I need to go into WebFLIS and become an MOE on your NSNs for, say, filament?
I do not know the direct answer to that. I guess if you're using it's your internal system, but I can get back to you and find out that question. I'm sorry, who was the gentleman that just asked that question?
Hey, it's Rob over at the Air Force. Rob Stamper.
Oh, yes, Rob, I absolutely can, touch bases with you. Thank you for joining. I can touch bases with you and we can discuss that if you want to know
All right.
more
Thanks, Bobby.
specifically. Yes, sir. Are there any other questions, comments? Did everyone get the survey link?
It looks like the link didn't work. Does it need to be sent again?
Perhaps, Lori, can you send the generic link and not the hyperlink?
Sure will. Have me make it out.
Hello? Is there a way to make it that we can copy and paste from the chat? Because a lot of the time chat doesn't allow people to copy and paste out of it.
Oh, I think John just.
Try now and see what happens.
Yes, John just
Yeah,
posted the link.
it doesn't. I mean, I can highlight the link, but when I try to copy paste it over to my notes, because I'm taking notes while you're talking, I can't paste it into the notes, my notes.
Someone said that the link I just put, did you try the link I just put, that it was working? A few people say it's working.
Works if you click on it now.
Well, it might work in terms of getting to the website, but I'm not able to copy and paste it.
So you can take the link, so you can take the survey later. Is that what you mean? If you want, I can email you the link. Felicia, is it Felicia that's speaking?
Felicia, what I did was I made sure you got the actual Zoom survey link. If that was helpful, could you just let me know?
Yeah, so what I do is I highlight that and I do copy because I want to copy and paste it. And then I go over to my Word document where I wrote my notes.
Correct.
And I hit paste and I don't get the, but it's okay because I went ahead and hit the link. And now I'll just go ahead and do the survey. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Quick question regarding the services part on 3D printing. When it talks about produce a digital file used to generate functional prototype, that means that it includes design services of a part. If the part needs to be 3D print, reverse engineered to make it into a printed part, that would be within the scope.
Yes, sir. Yes, it absolutely would be within scope.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And I'm just going to stay on for a little bit just to give opportunity for any other questions that come up. I'm noticing lots of great feedback in the comment section. No, thank you very much for joining again today, and I appreciate the feedback.
Let's see, this is Paul Gill. Just a comment on GSA Advantage shipping to Alaska. I've heard that in the future they'll actually put a depot in Alaska to speed things up. Until then, what I've done is just search on GSA Advantage, find the vendors, contact the vendors directly, and quote the numbers, you know, the contract numbers from GSA Advantage to them, and then work with the vendors over the phone and see if they can ship directly to Alaska. So it's one extra step, but GSA Advantage is still very much worth looking at.
Thank you for that, Paul.
Yes, thank you, Paul. All right, any other remaining questions? And did everyone, hopefully everyone was able to get the survey link with no issues. I think most people were. Yes, survey worked. Okay, thank you. So I'm glad I'm getting the responses. So again, I want to say a big thank you to Lori for all of her support today, and John Giannopoulos for his support with Q&A today. And the link to today's webinar, the recording, the actual presentation, as well as a product list that I mentioned earlier will be going out. So look for that information. And my contact information is in the presentation. Feel free to contact me at any time if you have any additive questions, no matter how big or small. I am here to support and assist you. And I appreciate you all today. Thank you so much. And everybody have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.